What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me on another episode on this channel. Now, we all know that Terminator Dark Fate will be coming out on November the 1st of this year. And producer James Cameron, this will be his first return to the Terminator franchise since 1991's Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Now, Terminator 2 Dark Fate, or I should just say Terminator Dark Fate, the sixth movie in the franchise, there's early box office numbers that are coming out for the movie and how well it will do on its opening weekend. Now, looking at these numbers for the opening weekend, it's not looking that great based off of these projections provided by industry analysts. Now, the industry analysts have this movie making anywhere between $35 million to $45 million on the opening weekend, with about $38 million being the projected number right now. That actually puts this movie earning less than 2003's Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines and Terminator Salvation. Now, you have to keep in mind that those movies, they didn't even account for inflation on those. So the opening for Terminator Dark Fate is not looking good box office number wise. That's just not good. Now, Rise of the Machines, it made $44 million. And Salvation made $42.5 million on its opening weekend. So that's not accounting for inflation. So if you account for inflation with $44 million, I'm just doing some numbers off the top of my head. I really don't know for sure. You would think that $44 million would be somewhere around $60 million today for Rise of the Machines. And Salvation would probably be somewhere around $58 million. So this movie, Terminator Dark Fate, could actually make about $20 million less opening weekend than those two movies. This isn't a good sign. And I think Terminator Genisys has a lot to do with this. Terminator Genisys was a terrible movie. If we were to take the Star Wars reference for this, this would be like the equivalent of Solo: A Star Wars Story losing money at the box office due to The Last Jedi. And I think Terminator Genisys is going to have an effect on Terminator Dark Fate. I have no doubt about it. Even though Skydance is really pushing that James Cameron is returning. This is a James Cameron movie, even though we know James Cameron is just getting a producer credit and a writing credit, and he was never on set at all, anytime, because he's out making his Avatar movies. And just looking at the box office numbers of the Terminator franchise, Genisys made $432 million worldwide in 2015 when it came out. Salvation actually did worse, but that was 2009 numbers, and it made $365 million. So in this day and age, I'm pretty sure the production budget for Terminator Dark Fate was pretty high, probably around $185 million, somewhere around there. That's what these big budget box office movies usually do production wise. They have high budgets. And based on the Terminator numbers of the last couple of Terminator movies, this movie looks like it actually may make somewhere in the ballpark of 350 at the box office, maybe 400. That's not good. That's not good whatsoever. So they're not actually saying that this movie is going to make X amount of dollars. They're not saying that whatsoever. But the plan is for this movie to take off, be a success, so they can start a trilogy with this movie. Now, I think Terminator Dark Fate could be a lot better if James Cameron was fully involved. James Cameron is just partly involved. So these numbers, they are a concern. No matter how good the movie is, this movie could be really, really good. But if people aren't showing up to the box office to watch it, it's all for nothing. I mean, some people actually make the excuse for Solo: A Star Wars Story that it is a good movie. But no matter what you think of it, people didn't show up to that movie, and they lost over $100 million on that movie. Now, Terminator Dark Fate, if the production budget is like 185, they're going to need to make somewhere around $500 million just to break even. I mean, it's that real, man. I mean, if this movie makes 350, 400 million, they're out $100 million in profit. And that will not justify making a trilogy out of this. This actually could kill the Terminator franchise once and for all. And James Cameron, I don't think he's going to ever come back fully into Terminator, because he has Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 that he's making. And those movies are going to come out like every other year, starting in 2021, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And they're just going to go all the way. So if James Cameron isn't 100% on board with this, then he will never be fully on board with this. It just won't happen. So Terminator Dark Fate needs a big opening weekend. It needs to make a lot of money at the box office to justify it actually going forward with a trilogy. I just don't see this happening. But that's just my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this? Terminator Dark Fate, the production numbers are kind of out there. The projections are out there. And it doesn't look like this movie is going to do very well at the box office. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me. And we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.